Hello and welcome to a new installment of our live vlog as we head back to the States for more amazing adventures. This time we are heading to our favourite place in the world, Hawaii. This is our 10-year wedding anniversary trip, but it's also a 10-year anniversary of our blog. It was on our honeymoon 10 years ago that this whole thing started, so it's been quite a journey. And we hope you can like and subscribe to the channel to come along with more amazing travel adventures with us. As we are heading out to the States for over a month, we are not going to detail the entire trip day by day, but the first few days fall quite well into the vlogging format, so let's get on with day one. As ever, we are flying out of London Heathrow. For our UK viewers, this may seem odd as we live up in Manchester and have our very own airport up here. However, the flights out of Manchester are just not as cheap or as convenient as the Heathrow options. By heading south, we got bargain flights in premium for only £865 return at prime flying times, so it's a no-brainer really. We simply drive down, stay overnight in an airport hotel and leave the car in long-term parking. This time we used yourparkingspace.com to find parking, as our usual park at hotel options were all coming out very expensive. We booked the Renaissance London Heathrow as we love the views of the runway, and we got a free upgrade to get us access to the executive lounge for some free drinks and snacks. Fully rested and raring to go, we woke up bright and early for our flight to San Francisco. Our final destination will be Hawaii, but we have a few days in California to break up the trip. Heading to the airport at 8 AM, we breezed through check-in and even had a pretty easy time in security. It was then off to our favourite credit card lounge, the Amex Centurion. The airport was manically busy, so we were glad to have access to this via our Platinum Amex credit card, and had a great time enjoying the really good food and amazing drinks. You can find a link to the full review in the description, and you can click the link above. A good 2 hours and several drinks later, it was time to head for boarding. As we were flying in the premium cabin, we basically walked straight onto the plane and plonked ourselves in a large comfy leather seat that would be our home for the next 11 hours. We are big fans of Virgin's premium cabin. It offers a little bit of luxury without the bank-breaking price tag. We paid only £865 per person return for this, when the regular economy classic was £550 each, so it was not a huge upgrade cost really, considering how much extra you get. We have a full detailed review that you can find in the description, or click the link above to see if premium is worth it for your trip. After a few drinks and a decent meal on real plates, we hunkered down and relaxed as we headed across the Atlantic. As we approached San Francisco, we were brought round by the cabin crew, offering us Virgin's 40th birthday afternoon tea. This was excellent and just what the doctor ordered. And shortly after, we began our approach into San Francisco. After touching down, we deplaned and flew through immigration, as we utilised the new mobile passport control app. This meant we were off the plane and into baggage claim well before the bags. Then it was over to the rental car, using the air train, to pick up our rental car from budget. Going back a little, 8 years ago, we were planning on doing a very similar road trip, and it has always been my dream to drive the PCH in a convertible Mustang. However, after booking one, the rental company had sold out and could only offer us a convertible Beetle. This was a big no-no for me. They ended up upgrading us to a Dodge Challenger. That was awesome fun, but it wasn't an open-top Mustang, and this has wrangled with me ever since. So, on our 10-year anniversary and heading back to the PCH, I naturally booked us a Mustang to finally tick that box. So we headed out of the rental centre in our shiny white Mustang, top down, wind in our hair, as we headed for San Francisco. Except we weren't. We had literally just done San Francisco hard last year, so decided, as time was scarce, to skip it entirely this time round. Instead, we headed straight down the PCH for our first stop. Cruising down the Pacific Coast Highway in the sun with the wind in our hair was the perfect tonic to keep us awake after a long flight. We had been on the go for 19 hours now, and we were pretty tired, but the glorious scenery, scents of pine forest and late afternoon sun kept us going no problem. This was one of the few parts of the Pacific Coast Highway we had actually not driven yet, and it turned out to be seriously beautiful. We headed across the San Francisco Peninsula and picked up the highway at Pacifica, with the road winding uphill through a pine forest before dropping back down to the coast and through Half Moon Bay with its picturesque port and stunning beaches. After traversing the stunning coastline for 100 or so miles, we then reached the trendy surf town of Santa Cruz. With little time to stop, we simply pushed through, heading inland slightly into the more agricultural farmlands of the Monterey Bay area, finally passing through Moss Landing and through the huge sand dunes to Monterey, California. Finally arriving after over 2 hours on the road, we headed to our first stop and checked into the Stevenson Monterey. This was the exact same motel we checked into on our first road trip down the PCH all those years ago. While it's not exactly the best hotel in the world, pretty basic and overlooking a gas station, it was very cheap, brilliantly located and a heap of nostalgia built in. After settling in, we headed out to have a look around one of our favourite west coast towns, Monterey. We didn't have a huge amount of time, our body clocks were getting on for 4 AM now, and it was going dark, but we hit Fisherman's Wharf and the harbour area looking for sea otters and finding a whole heap of sea lions. We grabbed a quick bite to eat in Krabby Jim's seafood restaurant with their award-winning clam chowder, and then admitted defeat, heading back to the motel to bed for 10 PM, which would be 6 AM UK time, a solid 22-hour day. At least we'll be taking it easy tomorrow. Yeah, right. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as we have that episode coming soon, and we really hit the first day in Monterey hard. Thanks for watching.